What's up, guys? So for this part of the pre-trip inspection, I'm going to start from the fuel area to the back of the vehicle. If you haven't watched the front portion, feel free to click on the link below. I'll try to post it down below. If you haven't seen the air brake inspection, I'll also put a link below for the air brake inspection, or you go ahead and check my channel for the air brake inspection and the in-cab inspection. So moving forward, if I'm asked to start from here, I'm going to go ahead and check my side light. My side light is amber in color, is properly mounted secure, in good working condition. This light serves as my running light, my directional, and my four-way flashers. Next, I'm going to move on to my mirror bracket. It's properly mounted secure, it's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing, and it's in good working condition. Then I'm going to go ahead and check my door. It opens and closes nicely. I'm going to check to make sure that the hinges are not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. There's no broken welds and it's in good working condition. I'm also going to check to make sure that I have a weather stripping on my door and it's not cracked or dry rotted. It's not broken, loose, or missing. It's in good working condition. Right? Now I'm going to move on to my steps. My steps are properly mounted and secure. They're free, clean, and clear of any oil, grease, mud, or anything that's going to cause me to trip and fall. Now I'm going to check my fuel tank. My fuel tank is properly mounted secure with two straps and a grommet that is not dry rotted, cracked, broken, loose, or missing. My fuel tank is not leaking any fluid anywhere. Well, it has a cap with a T-bar and a chain. I do have a rubber seal on this fuel cap. Next, I'm going to check to make sure that the fuel line and electrical are properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. The fuel line has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. And it's in good working condition. It's not leaking any fluid and the wires are not grounding. Now I do have my battery and my fuse box in here under the cab, which you can't get in because it is screwed down, but it is properly mounted and secure. All the cables are properly mounted and secure. There's no grounding wires and my battery is in good working condition. Next, I'm going to go ahead and check my DEF tank. It's not leaking any fluid. It's properly mounted secure. Same thing, the electrical and the hoses aren't leaking. They're not grounding. I'm going to check it the same way I check my gas tank. I'm going to make sure that my cap is on tight and that I have at least 1/8 of a tank of DEF. All right, from here, I'm going to check my catwalk. I do have a catwalk here, and I'm going to check the catwalk on the other side along with the steps to make sure that they are free, clean, and clear, properly mounted secure, not cracked, not broken. They're not loose. It's not missing. There's no oil or grease or any mud that's going to cause me to trip and fall on my catwalk or my steps. Now we're moving on to the side of the vehicle, further down, and here I'm going to check my side lights and my reflective tape. It's amber in color in the front and red in the back. The tape is not ripped or torn. It's not cracked or missing. It's in good working condition. My lights are properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. They seem to be in good working condition. From here, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the bottom of my truck. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and move under my vehicle and check my drive shaft and the universal joints. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. It's in good working condition. They're properly mounted and secured, and there's nothing wrapped around my drive shaft that's going to cause an issue. If I have to check only the back of the truck and I do not check the front, then I'm going to go ahead and give them a blanket statement. For example, I'm going to check my brakes the same way I check in the front, with the only difference is that this is a dual chamber and I'm allowed 2 inches of play on the back brakes, on the back brake chamber. If I have to check the whole brake chamber, then I'm going to check it the same way in the front. Had I not checked the front, I'm going to make sure that the brake chamber is properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. All the hoses coming to and from it are properly mounted secure. There's no abrasions, bubbles, and cuts on the hoses. And I'm allowed 2 inches of play on the back brakes, on the back brake chamber. And they're not leaking any air. All right, so if I wanted to check my brakes, I will go ahead and chock my wheels, release the parking brake, and pull on each slack adjuster, and I should have no more than 2 inches of play. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my suspension system. So I got my spring mount, my leaf springs, my U-bolts, and another spring hanger and spring mount in the back. And make sure they're all properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. and my leaf springs are not shifting or scissoring, which will cause a problem, maybe run into the tire and pop a tire or something like that. So they're properly mounted secure. If I did check the front and I have to check the whole vehicle, well, I'm just going to mention that I'll check these leaf springs the same way I check the front, and that should be a good enough of a blanket statement. So I'll move on to my brake lining and my brake drum, and same thing, I'll check it the same way I check the front. But if I didn't check the front, I'm going to make sure that I check my brakes. They're not cracked, broken, loose, or missing. There's no oil or grease or debris between the brake lining and the brake drum, and the brake lining is not worn dangerously thin, and it's in good working condition. My brake pad or brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin, no less than a 1/4 inch of meat on my brake lining. So next I'm going to go ahead and move on to my tires. I'm going to check these tires, and I'll go ahead with a blanket statement. I'm going to check these tires the same way I check the front, with the only difference is that these are dual tires. I should have nothing in between these tires, so my bud spacing should be free, clean and clear of rocks, debris, or logs or anything stuck in between there causing the tires to rub or pop my tire. If I didn't check the front tires, then I won't say that statement. I'll fully check these tires, still mentioning that they're dual tires. The spacing is free, clean, and clear. The rims should be touching. The tires should not be touching. I'm going to check the inner and outer wall the same way I checked the front, but if I did not check the front, I'm going to make sure there's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're properly mounted and secured to the rim. They're beaded to the rim nicely, and they're in good working condition. I'm allowed 90 to 110 psi, or whatever the tire specifications is for this tire, which is 120 psi. I'm going to make sure that the tires are all worn evenly. There's no gouges or chunks missing. They're all the same size in the back. It doesn't matter, they could be recapped, retreaded, regrouped tires in the back, as long as they're all the same size. They don't have to be a matching set or anything in the back.
And I should have a minimum 230 seconds tread depth.
Next, I'm going to go ahead and check my rim, the inner and outer walls of my rim, make sure that there's no hammering, no heavy hammering or any illegal holes or illegal welds on these rims. They're not damaged in any way, and they're in good working condition. Next, we'll move up to the inside of the rim, and I can't give a blanket statement because this is an axle seal versus the front. The front tire is an oil hub. So here I'm going to check my axle seal. It is properly mounted secure. It's not leaking any fluid, and it's in good working condition. Right. Next, I'm going to check my lug nuts, and I will say I'll check them the same way I check the front. But if I did not check the front, I'm going to make sure I check each lug nut, make sure it's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. If I had any rust streaks running down or any shiny metal that I could see from behind the lug nut, it could indicate a broken or loose lug nut. I'm going to check my valve stem and make sure it's not cracked, broken, loose, or missing. It's not leaking any air. It has a metal cap on it, and it's in good working condition. So now I'm going to check my mud flap. It's as wide as my dual tires. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. It's not leaking. It's not dry rotted. It's properly mounted secure, and I have enough clearance from the floor. All right, so now we've made it to the back of the truck. I'm going to start with my door. My door is properly mounted secure. It has no broken welds on the hinges. They're also properly mounted secure and in good working condition. My door has a door latch with a safety cable to hold it in place, and it opens and closes freely. I'm also going to go ahead and check my lights. I have several lights back here. I have 3 marker lights, and then I have 2 bigger red lights and some smaller marker lights, and then I also have some amber strobe lights. The red lights all serve as, I have my red marker lights up top, and the 4 on the side serve as my 4-ways emergency lights, my left and right turn signal, my running lights, and my brake lights. I also have some clean, clear white lights back here that serve as my reverse lights. Everything is properly mounted secure and in good working condition. I also have DOT reflective tape in the back that's also red. It's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked or broken. It's not ripped or torn, and it's in good working condition. Next, I'm going to go ahead and check the back of my truck and make sure that I could still see the frame. I'm going to check it the same way that I checked the front, but if I didn't check the front, I'm going to go ahead and mention the frame here and in the middle of the vehicle. It's a properly mounted secure, not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. It has no illegal holes or illegal welds, and it's in good working condition. Now I'm going to check my DOT bar or DOT bumper. It's properly mounted secure and in good working condition. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. I'm going to check my safety hooks for my trailer. They're properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. The welds are in good working condition, and they are in good working condition. I'm gonna check the electrical connection to my trailer, and it's in good working condition. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. The wires are not cut. There's no exposed wire or excess electrical tape that doesn't belong here, and none of the wires are grounding. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my pintle hook. Make sure my pintle hook is in good working condition. It's not worn dangerously thin. It's mounted with the mounting bolts, properly mounted and secure. There's no bolts missing, nothing is cracked or broken, and it's in good working condition. I'm gonna go ahead and check my safety latch to make sure it opens and closes freely, and it's in good working condition, properly mounted and secure. I'm also gonna check to make sure I have a safety pin, which currently is in place, properly mounted and secured by a chain, and in good working condition. I'm also gonna go ahead and check to make sure that my license plate has a light back here, and it's in good working condition. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing, and in good working condition. Now, from here, I would go ahead and explain to the examiner that I would check passenger side of the vehicle the same way as check the driver's side of the vehicle, with the only exception. Now, here's the only exception to this side of the vehicle versus the other side, is that I do have steps and catwalk, which I'm gonna go ahead and check at this time, even though I mentioned it on the other side. Make sure that they're free, clean, and clear. They're all properly mounted secure. There's no grease, oil, dirt, or mud that's gonna cause me to trip and fall. Another difference from this side is I do have a hydraulic tank. It's properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, broken, loose, or missing. It's not leaking any fluids. All the hoses coming to and from it have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and no leaks on it, and it's in good working condition. So this concludes my outside pre-trip inspection. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you, for whatever reason, forgot to mention something, this is the time where you go ahead and ask the examiner if you can go ahead and do a walk around. I'm sure they have your time booked. You can go ahead and give it a look just in case you forgot something. But if you follow the video as I showed you, you should be good. As far as inspecting your truck, you should be inspecting all of the truck every day as you go out. Make sure you check every single brake, every single tire, everything about the truck. Check the oils, make sure everything's in good working condition. So if you like this video, just give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.